Welcome to this week's Duncan Disorderly, and with me now is Duncan Garner. So you've taken a bit of a satirical bent with your column this week. Why?
Yeah, I have, because if we don't laugh, we'll cry. And I think there are a number of fundamental things that happened in the past week with this government. Firstly, Trevor Mallard left. Now, people don't go unless there's good reason to go. He knows that they're going under. The economy went under this week. You've seen it with the recession. They took the government with it. I mean, I think people make up their minds on that sort of thing. It's what did Bill Clinton say? It's the economy, stupid. It always comes down to the economy. And Grant Robertson's been left there saying it's all okay. The pipeline is strong. The fundamentals are good. Unemployment's low. It's a strange potential recession, really, because unemployment's so low, yet commodity prices so high, inflation going through the roof, and now interest rates, where do they go now? So there's all sorts of serious things within this, but I want to have some fun. So we've written 3 obituaries, basically the governments, the economies, and Queen Street as well, which seems to have gone under with this pandemic as well. So yeah, it's a bit of fun.
Isn't the flip side argument that these other economies that are suffering from the same problem, high inflation, etc.?
Yep, that's right. But if you look at New Zealand's GDP results, they're a bit of an outlier, apart from America, who's gone under further than us. England, Australia, you look at this, their inflation rates aren't as high, and their GDP growth is still on the positive, only by up to 0.05, but we're -2. So I think England was 0.3, Australia 0.3. So we were the last to report, and we were in the last on the ladder as well of the OECD countries. They're just above us. They're in the positive growth. We've contracted.
Obviously, the government knew bad news was coming out on the GDP front, so the cabinet reshuffle, do you think it was a little bit to counter that?
Oh, I think what Jacinda Ardern did was try and get on the front foot early in the week. So, look, I'm strong, I'm making these changes, these guys want to go, they're gone. Although Mallard, whether he deserves a 3 or whatever it is year posting in Ireland, I mean, I've suggested they just bury him in the Parliament grounds on his own. There's a petition of 3 calling for a monument of him turning on the taps. I mean, I don't know about Trevor. There's a split view on Trevor. I'm sort of split on it. I got to know the guy quite well when I was at Parliament. He does some good things and does some terribly dreadful things with bad judgment. But he's kind of likeable, but then he's not. No one will really miss him. The other thing is Queen Street. I've mentioned Queen Street in there too, because if the economy goes under, then Queen Street's your main drag. And it's shocking. No one knows what it is anymore. Why would you go there? What's the attraction?
Obviously, there's been a suggestion to turn it into a pedestrian only. What's your view on that?
I have no idea, because I don't really know what pedestrian only looks like, and I don't think the council does either. They should have gone and had a look at Adelaide and places like that, where big malls, work and cars come into the edge of those things. But we can have a congestion tax here. So I just think Auckland has got rid of the international students, and the people that live here are either hiding because the ones that are here are the 501s and the undesirables, and they're all taking the accommodation that the international students were in. The whole profile of the city's changed, and the only way to get it safe again is to be confident to return. So you must return en masse to the CBD. Only with numbers do you feel safe, and then you must do something about the middle of it, because what's Queen Street going to be? Right now it's a halfway house disaster. It's a bit of everything. You've got the cycle lane, you've got the walkway, you've got the disabled lane, you've got this lane and that lane, and no lanes going to anywhere. And then a single lane, how to get through. So get it right. But surely there's
tourists coming back, and we need to do something to entice them, don't we?
And that's a good point. If we want to be attractive, and let's be honest, we're not the only attractive country in the world. I mean, I think we overstate that too. There's plenty of countries that are more accessible for most of the world than us.
And Greg Foran said this week last week that we were going to get 20% added on fares because of high oil prices.
Yeah, no surprise.
So that's another barrier for people coming back.
And that's why the government took off the pre-departure testing. Look, we look strong. We've got a plan for this economy. Whoops! An hour later, we look like we're in halfway in a recession. But in saying that, let's hope it's a short recession, because these numbers came out of when we were locked down with Omicron. So we're out now, and people have returned to the office, sort of, and businesses operating. But whether or not there's enough activity, I've spoken to people on the radio in the past few days, builders and construction workers and owners of businesses, and they have a pipeline until now, but the pipeline looks empty after that. So how do you keep your 5 workers on? It's when unemployment starts to get hit is when you've got to start to worry. But people are in jobs, but for how long?
Just picking up on your death theme, I mean, you've got Christopher Luxon at the funeral. What's he offering that's
Well, he's
different?
offering a strategy and outcomes. I mean, he's run an airline, of course, hasn't he? So he knows about hard landings and soft landings, and he's here for the people, in both English and Māori, probably, because he's into that too. So I don't know, it's a bit of fun. But Chris is here. Obviously, he's run a successful business on behalf of the New Zealand taxpayers. He got a good prop up from the government, and then charge you double the prices on domestic airfares. Very generous of him. But he'll have an offering. He's ahead of the polls. He's got momentum. Doesn't have to do much. The more he does, he's probably the more he's exposed. So just be careful what you say, Chris.
All right. Well, thanks very much,
Cheers,
Duncan.
mate, you're welcome.